Welcome back, Truth Seeker. This weekend, July 21st and 22nd, 2018, will be the Jewish holiday of Tisha B'Av. That's the day of remembering the tragedies in Jewish history, including the destruction of the two temples. Going to show you what's so interesting about Tisha B'Av falling on July 21st this year. Not something that happens very often. And I'm going to remind you what Tisha B'Av had to do with September 11th, 2001. But before we get there, I want to talk about September 11th and show you something very interesting that recently crossed my path that I wasn't aware of until about a week ago. If you've read my book, Letters and Numbers, one of the chapters is on September 11th. And in that chapter, I expose a lot of the predictive programming for September 11th, plus a whole lot more. But something that I feel is now missing from the chapter is this right here. And the reason it's missing is because I wasn't aware of it. And I'm sure there's a lot of other things out there in this world that I'm not aware of that belong in the chapter as well. That's why I always say there's always more. But anyhow, there's this very popular music album, Breakfast in America, by the band Supertramp, and the album artwork for this specific album is probably the best example I've seen to date of predictive programming for 9/11. So we're going to go over that right now. But first, I just want to begin with the date the album was released, March 29th, 1979. That was a date with numerology of 111. New York in gematria sums to 111, and September 11th is the day leaving 111 days left in the year. 111. 11 was a big ritual in 9/11. New York's the 11th state, the 11th day of the month. The World Trade Centers look like giant 11s. They were 110 stories tall, 110. The first plane to supposedly crash into the buildings was flight AA-11. A is also the first letter. AA in gematria is 11. So the flight was 1111. AA-11. 11, the master number in numerology. The master builder number is 22. And consider this album came out in 79, 22 years before 2001. 79 is the 22nd prime number. Master builder number, the World Trade Centers constructed in 1968, 33 years before 2001. And again, that checklist, 1968, World Trade Center construction started. 911 was made the national emergency dialing code. George W. Bush graduated from Yale and Skull and Bones. Space Odyssey 2001 came out. And the New York Jets won their only Super Bowl. Think about it. Rig sports, rig news, ongoing narratives. 9/11 Patriot Act. The New England Patriots become the most dominant football team in NFL history right after 9/11. Still ongoing. Just like the wars that came out of 9/11, still ongoing. So anyway, that point aside, look at this album artwork. You're looking out of a plane window at New York City, the World Trade Centers, brought into focus with the orange juice from the orange waitress standing right in front of the towers. The most clever thing about this cover is the U and the P right above the World Trade Centers. If you put a mirror up against this, it flips it, and that P looks exactly like a 9, and because the bottom of the U's cut off, it looks like an 11. If you put a mirror up against this and look, it's 9/11 right above the towers. Plain looking at the World Trade Centers. Predictive programming. And whoops. Let's not forget what's special about the color orange. Using the exact same cipher, the reduction cipher, one of our 4-base ciphers, what I've taught for years is the most important cipher. If you write out orange, 33. If you type out waitress, 33. If you type out false flag, 33. And notice this. If you write out 33 as a word, it sums to 156. 911 is the 156th prime number. And the name of that album is Breakfast in America, 156. What do you know? What do you know? So, we have a plain window looking at the World Trade Centers. More album artwork from the same album, Supertramp, New York City, obvious tribute. Instead of the Lady Liberty, it's, Lady Liberty, but as a waitress, with a plane flying right by. A lot of people theorize that Flight 93, which crashed in Pennsylvania, was destined for either the White House or the Statue of Liberty. More album artwork from the record, planes, big theme. Of course, in the lyrics to Breakfast in America, it's about taking a jumbo jet over from the UK to America where the girls are more pretty. The song that starts with the lyrics, take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. You know that song? I'm sure you've heard it before. Very popular song. So other things that jump out. Supertramp. Notice the gematria of 147, like Freemason, like Conspiracy, this band from the UK, just like modern Freemasonry is. 48, like the word Freemason in Hebrew and in English. 123, another number that corresponds with the base gematria of Conspiracy. 147 and 123 both. 60, number also connected to conspiracy, as well as the word order. The order of this world is maintained with conspiracy. Ongoing propaganda, fear, intimidation, unjust government, taxation without representation, needless war. This is the order, this is the structure of this world. And another big piece of that order is entertainment, keeping people pacified, with things such as music, sports, television, movies. These are the things that keep we, the overtaxed, enslaved, intimidated people in check. If we didn't have these things, a lot more of us probably would be out looking for the truth. But for most people, understanding the world what it is, as long as they can come home and chill on their couch and eat a microwave meal and, watch the tube, they're good to go. And it's unfortunate that it's that way. As for Breakfast in America, notice the 156 gematria, again 911, the 156th prime. False flag in Jewish gematria equals 156. Magnuson Klemenkic Associates equals 156. That's the firm that built the World Trade Centers. Built them to fall on the day they did because it was all planned many years in advance and predicted programming all along the way, including this album, 22 years before it happened. Who runs the record studios? It's no secret. Same people who practice gematria. Gematria is a Masonic and a Jewish language. Think about right after 9/11, you had the Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, on American television saying we needed to declare a war on terrorism. And isn't that exactly what we did? But notice the 75 as well. That's a big one. Order has gematria of 75. So does New World Order, 75. And what's the Masonic motto? Order out of chaos. Create the problem, provide the solution. Each problem is an opportunity. Breakfast in America, also 330. Looks an awful lot like 33 to me. Again, 33 years from 68 to 2001. Masonry 33, secrecy 33, order 33, England 33, where this band's from. And Breakfast in America, also 123 like conspiracy. See how it is? So, this weekend, Tisha B'Av. Tisha B'Av, to remember the destruction of the two temples. And notice, Tisha B'Av in Jewish gematria, 911. The two temples, the two towers, the ongoing agenda for Israel. That's what the United States of America is as well. Every day we send tens of millions of dollars to Israel. The United States of America joined World War I on behalf of the UK, where the Balfour Declaration was written, which said if the United States fought against Germany, there would be the promise of delivering the Zionist state of Israel. Now, that was used as the incentive for the United States to join World War I, where the majority of people in this country supported Germany. A lot of Germans over here. The people of this nation supported Germany. They were bribed with the promise of the Zionist state of Israel. Well, if you know the history of the United States of America, it's always been controlled by Jewish bankers and Freemasons. These are facts. You know? And as we also know in this country, it's not the will of the people that determines what happens. It's the will of the powerful banking and financial interests. You know, again and again. The two temples. And oh, by the way, World War I began on Tisha B'Av, the first of the world wars, the one about establishing Israel, you know. So what's so interesting, though, about Tisha B'Av falling on July 21st is that in English Extended Gematria, which is a very important cipher, if you're not familiar with this cipher, I show its relevance in great detail in this book. Another cipher you definitely want to know. The base 4 ciphers, if you know those 4, you know enough. But if you want to know even more, there is more. And here's one of the examples of the relevance. We're going to watch what happens this weekend. Will it be something in Israel? Will it be something in another nation of the world? I suspect we're going to see some sort of tragic headline this weekend. And somebody out there might be saying, well, that's not much of a prediction. There's always tragedies in the media. But we'll see what comes. Probably larger than normal. Tisha B'Av is a day known for tragedies. With this kind of alignment, it's hard for me to imagine the days of July 21st and July 22nd pass by and we don't see something significant over the weekend. So, Tisha B'Av, very interesting alignment this year. Doesn't typically fall on July 21st. But there it is, True Seeker. Again, you want to do something for my birthday? I'd really appreciate it if you went out and picked up Letters and Numbers. Price this book at $5. You get 773 pages of mind-blowing content for $5. You can't beat it. It's that low of a price because I want everyone to be able to afford it. You know, it's as low as I can go next to free. $5. Took me 5 years to write. So you're pretty much donating $1 per year for what took an awful lot of time to do. A lot of research, a lot of thinking, a lot of writing and rewriting to make sure it was structured right so it's easy to follow and understand. This book's written for people who are brand new to this work, as well as people who followed me for all the years I've been doing it. So, if you haven't picked it up yet, you're missing out. $5. You can't spend $5 on... you can't spend $5 in any better way in this world, I assure you that much. Get a lot back for your $5. Earn some greasy hamburger that's going to bring you one day closer to your death. I promise you that much. No contest. All right, Truth Seeker, we'll leave it there. Until next time.